That's why today we will request our resource persons to enlighten us and share with us the technicalities of this proposed measure. Admittedly, this is very technical. We're talking about denatured alcohol, and in the beginning, when we were analyzing this bill, it took us a while to understand what denatured alcohol is. No? I thought denatured alcohol is the ones we can buy in Ralph's or in the supermarket, and yun yung mga iniinom natin. Pala kabaligtaran, no? Kabaligtaran pala siya, no? Just goes to show that I'm not a technical person. Manginginom ako, but hindi ako technical person. But after analyzing it, after going through the bill very thoroughly, we think that this can be a new source of revenue for government, no? So with that, because the bill is technical in nature, we would like to request some representatives from the private sector to enlighten us what denatured alcohol is. We invited DSAP, Distilled Spirits Association of the Philippines, headed by Ms. Olivia Limpe Au, the president of DSAP. We also invited a representative from Ginebra San Miguel, Mr. Lasin. All right, sorry for that technical error. I said that we invited Mr. Lasin, also from Ginebra San Miguel, to give us some idea how denatured alcohol is being produced. No? So with that, we'll start off first with our private sector resource persons. We'll reverse. Normally, we start off with government, but today we'll start off with our private sector resource persons. We'll request Ms. Olivia Limpe Au to give us a lecture on denatured alcohol, as simple as possible. Again, I'm not a technical person, but let's start off with a 101 basics, how denatured alcohol is being produced, where is it coming from, where is it being used. So just basics, and then after that, we can move into how denatured alcohol is being taxed. No? Because the whole point of this hearing is the taxation and potential revenue source from denatured alcohol.
Thank you very much, Senator Win Gatchalian.
Do you have a PowerPoint presentation?
No way, because we didn't have enough time. But we'll just explain it simple, layman's, diba? Para for everybody's appreciation. So I think we should start with a bit of a historical perspective on denatured alcohol. So in the past, denatured alcohol was made with what we call heads and tails. So diba, in alcohol production, there is the heads, the heart, and the tails. The heart is what we use to make distilled spirits. The heads and tails are really parts of the distillation process that has a bit more of congeners that are not really suitable for consumption because of the not so good chemicals there, the chemical composition, and also it affects the organoleptic properties of the spirit. So it's the heart that gives us the best congener profile that distinguishes one spirit from another depending on what is the substrate used. So if we use sugarcane, it becomes rum, no? After we ferment and distill, becomes rum. We use grains, becomes whiskey, and all that. So normally in the past, they would use the heads and tails to make denatured alcohol. So, kasi you know, the hearts, we are heavily taxed on that as spirit. So if you can consume it, it is taxed under the sin tax law. No? So we have both the specific tax and ad valorem tax. Now, the denatured alcohol is used for other purposes. So they use it for rubbing alcohol, sanitizer alcohol. It's also used for other products like cosmetics. No? So there are other uses for denatured alcohol. And there are in the law, it says that to be denatured, you have to add certain chemicals, diba, to render it unfit for human consumption. So Either it makes it bitter, hindi mo mainom, di ba? It's not good to drink, and it's also it's not good for you to consume, no? It's not good for for people to consume it. So for that, there is a process where it's called the denaturing process, and the chemicals added to it, and the process is usually monitored by the Bureau of Internal Revenue. So they come to your plant, they watch how you denature the denaturing process, and that is the way that you can get away with paying excise taxes on spirits. So there is now no taxes on denatured alcohol. No, but now because the use for sanitizer alcohol and all these cosmetics, toners, whatever, right, whitening products is big. So we don't anymore just rely on the substandard alcohol. So you can also use good quality alcohol. In fact, now there's cosmetic grade alcohol, which is higher in proof than the usual food grade alcohol. But because if you want to distill to a higher proof, then you suffer in terms of organoleptic properties, no? So that one is used for cosmetics, no? A lot of cosmetic companies require cosmetic grade alcohol. That's about 100%, diba? 100% alcohol by volume. Parang it's like pure alcohol. So, so in the past, diba, most of the denatured alcohol was domestically produced. But I think now a lot of the cosmetic companies are also importing their denatured alcohol. So we in the industry are not naman against the importation of denatured alcohol, no? So they can also decide to buy locally, or because actually our domestic consumption of alcohol is not enough to support the needs of the domestic industry. So even for spirits, there's also importation of alcohol. And so there's really not enough to go around to supply the needs of the domestic market. More so the export market if we want to export our product. So we are not against the government allowing the importation of already denatured alcohol, because it really cuts the process, makes things easier for everyone. Now, with regards to added revenue, of course, we leave it to the wisdom of the legislature. If they would like to tax denatured alcohol, because really it is already outside the purview of the distilled spirits industry. So we are really here only for distilled spirits, but our members also make denatured alcohol, and once it's out of our plant, and then it goes to the other industries. So it's really not that complex. So it's really a matter of tax. But for the BIR, if it cannot be consumed, then it's not a specific tax on spirits. If it can be consumed, we are taxed under the sin tax law. So that's how they look at it. So, but with regards to denatured alcohol, it's really tax-free for now. Yes.
So just to go back, we'll concentrate first on the distillers. I think that your members are distillers.
Yes, Senator, yes.
And then, so the distillers, if I understand it correctly, they produce denatured alcohol because of it's considered waste alcohol.
Yes.
It's not.
Yes,
It's
yes.
because in processing distilled spirits, you cannot avoid to have waste alcohol. I'm putting it very simply and just to make everyone understand. That's part of the process. Like any other processes, there's like for example in food products you also have waste.
Yes, Your Honor.
So in distilled spirits you also have waste, and denatured alcohol is considered waste alcohol.
Yes, Your Honor, because it cannot be used for the actual production of the finished product. We reserve the hearts, as we call it, to produce the distilled spirits for consumption.
And what do you call the denatured?
Heads and tails. They
heads
can
and
come from
tails.
heads and tails. Oo.
So these heads and tails, how come there is waste? Just to make it, just to
Ah,
give us an
yes.
idea.
So we ferment the substrate, we produce low alcohol, right? That's like the wine. So when you say wine, it's fermented. Now to make it into distilled spirit, it goes through a distillation process. This one is where we evaporate all the liquids there and turn it into distilled spirit. So the distillate now the first part is called heads. No? So we cut it. Parang we in the distilling industry know where to cut the heads and the tails. Kasi the congener profile of the heads and the tails are not really suitable and not really advisable to, to add so much of it. No? Parang we should know where to cut it, where we get the best part of the distillation process. The heads kasi has congeners that are not so good. And so we set that aside, and we also set aside the tails. And these are the parts of the distillate that we can turn into denatured alcohol. Yes.
It is this waste. You cannot avoid it.
You cannot avoid it, for your honor. It's really part of the production process.
Okay. And so you have waste, and but you can, if you don't sell the waste, you dispose it.
No, you can put it back to the distillation process, but you always set it aside, di ba? So parang it's like we will separate the heads and tails. If we don't dispose it, it goes back to the total distillate to be distilled again. So it just goes in and out, in and out. Pero we still cut the hearts to use for the distilled spirit beverage. But sometimes if you accumulate too much, of course you'd like to sell it, diba? So we can't really add too much back to the pot that we will be distilling.
So in the process, there's always going to be waste alcohol.
Yes, Your Honor.
Yung heads and tails.
Yes, Your
Hindi mo
Honor.
siya ma-avoid talaga.
Hindi.
That's part of the process.
It's really part of the process.
And do you dispose the heads and tails or the waste? I'll call it waste alcohol. Do you dispose it ever, or you just keep on?
We just keep on, or if you want nga, if like certain distillers, they have clients already who buy denatured alcohol, they can denature it and sell it.
Okay, there's so in the other option is instead of putting it back is to sell it.
Yes, Your Honor.
To sell it as denatured alcohol.
Yes, after undergoing the denaturing process.
Undergoing the denaturing process. And how do you denature those waste or those head and tails? What
so
is the simple process of
they
denaturing?
just add a denaturant. So you blend it, you put it in a tank, a separate tank, then you add the denaturant, and then you mix it, and it's already considered denatured.
Denatured,
alcohol.
and then it will not be fit for human consumption.
No more, Your Honor.
Okay, and this can go to you said it can go to rubbing alcohol,
Yes.
cosmetics,
Yes.
and even automotive. Can it go
Pero
to
Your Honor, I think cosmetics, they're also quite strict. They're also quite strict on the standards. So I think they don't really buy from the distillers. They would buy from they would buy cosmetic grade alcohol.
Okay, but it
Cosmetic
can be
grade.
used for
But it can
cosmetics.
be used also. Oo. Siguro depending on the di ba, category of the cosmetic. Syempre, the higher end, the luxury ones, di ba? Parang there's also
Yeah, my high end, my low end. Yeah, my
low end, ganun. So I think they would also it would depend on their formulation.
correct,
also.
correct. That's
Yes.
that's part of their commercial strategy, whether
Your
to
Honor.
use high grade or low grade.
Yes, Your Honor.
What are the markets? What are the top markets for denatured alcohol? Cosmetics will it be here in the Philippines?
I think would be number one, would be the biggest would be the sanitizer alcohol.
Hmm.
Diba na? Sanitizer alcohol, and then cosmetic, diba? Industrial. So maybe you can explain the industrial. May I request?
Yeah, go ahead,
Okay.
attorney.
So I know there's also for, as you mentioned, Your Honor, yung fuel. Meron din fuel, ano?
So it can
Pero
be used as to blend with fuel.
No, we don't
Uh,
use it but to
Yeah,
blend for
si
sure.
Mr. Lacsin, you can join in. I know are you an engineer or
Yes, okay. Good morning, sir. I'm a chemist by profession.
Okay, yeah.
Yes. So to add to Miss Olivia's statement, we at Ginebra San Miguel, we're the manufacturer of the San Miguel ethyl alcohol, rubbing alcohol. So being a chemist, I'm familiar with the process of how we make our rubbing alcohol. So as mentioned by Miss Olivia, we fully support the statement of DSAP being a member of the group. It all starts, sir, with the raw material, which is the molasses in our case. And in the process, we do fermentation, we do distillation. Okay. In the process of that fermentation and distillation, ethanol, which is the ingredient of the alcohol, we don't produce only ethanol, we produce other impurities. So that's why it's inherent in the process to produce the bad alcohol or the impurities or what we call the heads and tails. Okay. So in the process of distillation, you separate the heads and tails from the clean alcohol. Okay. So as mentioned also by Ma'am Olivia, there are different grades of cosmetic alcohol or the one we use for the denatured alcohol. So for the lower grade, they use heads and tails. But in our case, we use the hearts. We denature it. Okay, we denature it to make it unfit for human consumption. That's to distinguish the alcohol that we use for our spirits and the one we use for our rubbing alcohol. Okay, so what do we do with our heads and tails? Yes, some industries use it for rubbing alcohol, but in our case, we don't use that in our rubbing alcohol. We use it for vinegar. So we sell it, but we denature it first, and then we sell it to our vinegar suppliers. Okay. So yes, the process in our company, we add a high, what's that? Bitrex. We call it Bitrex. It's a very bitter compound. So to our hearts, to make it unfit for human consumption. And then after the addition of the Bitrex or the bad tasting chemical, we now produce the San Miguel ethyl rubbing alcohol. So that's the one we sell to our consumers, mostly hospitals.
Meron bang San Miguel rubbing alcohol?
Yes, sir.
Baka mainom ng mga manginginom yun.
Malinaw po dun sa
Ah,
label. Yes, sir. Malinaw po dun sa label na it's for external use and not for
For
human.
drinking.
Yes po. And before, as mentioned, we have to denature it first, opo, to distinguish it from the alcohol that we use for our spirits. So, yun po yung proseso na ginagawa namin sa aming facility. So as also mentioned po dito sa position paper that we support po sa DSAP, ito pong aming ginagawa is sa local alcohol. And statement po dito sa position paper is meron po kaming gustong ilapit na yung gagamitin po sana rin is mag-import ng already denatured alcohol. So yun po yung pong gusto naming ipasama dito sa pinag-uusapan po natin ngayon. Kasi right now po, ang nakasaad po dito is we denature locally yung pong alcohol na kinukuha natin. Opo. So, we support po yung nasa position paper po ng DSAP na we import the already denatured alcohol para po pagdating dito, denatured na siya. And beneficial po ito sa amin sa manufacturing sa industry kasi medyo mura po ito compared sa domestically denatured alcohol. Tapos po wala naman po tayong nakikitang parang madideprive po ang ating government dun sa excise tax kasi pag po ginamit natin ito, matatax naman po yung produkto. In case po na kasi kaya pong ihiwalay yung denaturant sa alcohol. So pag inihiwalay po ito at ginamit sa liquor, matataksan din po yung liquor na pinaggamitan po nito. Yun po naman sir yung magiging process. And that process is very expensive and it's not ideal for a beverage company to pursue that process na ihihiwalay po ulit natin yung denaturant doon sa alcohol. So yung po Senator Gatchalian yung nasa sa loob po ng manufacturer pagdating po dito sa pinag-uusapan natin ngayon.
We'll focus first on the local supply, and then after that, there's a request to include imported
Apo.
denatured, no? We'll focus on the local supply. So right now, itong mga distillers, including Ginebra San Miguel, you produce because of your, they call it bad alcohol, no? You cannot avoid to have bad alcohol because of the process.
Tama po sir.
Oo. And in order to make it productive, you denature it and use it to you use it for rubbing alcohol, you use it for cosmetics, this type of non-food grade products. Tama
Yes.
ba?
Yes sir, tama po yun. And yun as mentioned po, depende po sa quality nung gusto natin na rubbing alcohol.
Oo.
So pwede po yung heads and tails, pwede rin po yung hearts
Yeah,
or the
pero
good.
bahala na kayo doon. Diba?
Opo.
That's your strategy na.
Yes po.
Diba?
Pero po ang important po doon, dinidenature po namin
Yes.
in both cases po yun
Okay.
to make it unfit for human consumption.
Okay. And then when you denature it, no? Pag na-denature na siya, do you have to get permit from BIR to denature it?
Yes sir. Ang BIR po natin nag-release kung ano pong formula. They have an approved formula kung gaano karaming denaturant or yung Bitrex na sinasabi ko po para po masabi na denatured alcohol po siya.
Okay. So right now, when you sell your denatured alcohol, first, when you denature the alcohol, you apply for a permit from BIR. Tama?
Yes sir.
Yes, Your Honor.
Yes
There's
po.
a permit for, we call it a denaturing permit.
Okay. And then right now, are you as we speak, are you denaturing? And is BIR issuing permits for
Yes,
you
sir.
to denature?
Yes sir.
Okay.
We have a permit po. Kaya po nakakapag-denature po kami sa aming facility.
How often do you denature?
Sir, depende po
Just
yan.
give us an idea. Idea lang. Like in a month, ilan beses?
Siguro po kami po, depende po yan sa demand forecasting po namin. So every 2 months, every other month.
Every other month.
Yes
can
po,
you
may mga
denature?
ganyan po
Okay.
kami.
Were there instances na hindi nyo denature, tinatapon nyo na lang yung
Yung aming heads and tails.
heads and
Hindi
tails?
po, kasi po yun nga, sabi po namin, pwede naman namin gawin sa suka. Binibenta po namin
Sayang. Sayang.
Okay.
Pero dinidenature din po namin yun bago ilabas namin sa
Oo,
aming
kasi-
facility.
Siyempre sa negosyo, kung sisid nga, kinakain nga, pati ulo.
Mm.
'Di ba? Ito pa, no? So you try to make it a productive product.
Yes, sir.
And then when you sell it to another company, in this case yata it's your sister company, no? But you sell it, I think, no? Tama ba?
Yung pong yung aming denatured alcohol, we use it po sa Ginebra San Miguel because we have our own distillery. So we denature it and then we produce it for our.
But for the other distillers, you sell it to other companies.
Yes, I believe, sir. They sell it to other companies. In fact, as mentioned by our colleague, we sell it pa nga to the vinegar makers, no?
Mm-mm.
We sell it also to vinegar makers.
Oh.
Yeah, they buy a lot also. But to make vinegar is an added process pa. So from the spirit, so we have distilled spirit, it goes to that acidification process pa. You turn the spirit to acetic acid to make
Okay.
into vinegar.
Okay.
So it's not only pala, sorry, I didn't tama na he pointed it out that there is also another source of denatured alcohol, which is the vinegar industry, which is
Okay.
also very big.
All right. So we'll go first to the non-food grade output. So when you sell, and again, no, pardon me for my ignorance, I'm not very well versed with this. When you sell denatured alcohol, taxes are imposed
So, Your Honor, no taxes po.
because
That's,
it's locally
because po
produced.
it's kasi no sin tax law is imposed because it is not fit for human consumption.
Okay.
So it's parang that's why it undergoes that denaturing process to ensure that it cannot be consumed as a distilled spirit or as an alcoholic beverage.
No sin tax law is imposed because it's locally denatured.
No, because it cannot be consumed as a distilled spirit product. It's not fit for oral consumption.
But there's a distinction, diba, between imported and local denatured alcohol.
Mr. Chair,
Uh-uh.
when we denature alcohol, it becomes excise tax exempt.
Mm.
But when we sell denatured alcohol, we pay income tax and VAT. So yes.
Yeah, but yung excise tax lang, yung specific and ad valorem.
Wala po. Excise tax exempt po yung denatured alcohol.
Okay. But in the law, if it's domestic denatured, if it's domestic denatured alcohol, then it becomes exempted from excise tax. Tama?
Yes, Mr. Chair. Yung current provisions of the tax code, there's a domestic po yung nakalagay. So right now, it's currently limited to domestically denatured alcohol po. Yung
Okay.
for excise tax exception.
Okay. So in other words, yung mga distillers natin are considered domestic when you domestic denaturer. Okay. And I understand also there's also connection to the source of the alcohol. Meaning if your alcohol the alcohol that is coming in is from an imported source, then it becomes an imported denatured alcohol. Tama? Because the way to distinguish domestic denatured alcohol is also the source of the alcohol, which is, I believe, ethyl alcohol. I believe it. Tama ba yung technical term ko? Yung pumapasok is ethyl. Pag in ethyl is domestically produced, then it becomes domestic denatured alcohol. If the ethyl alcohol comes from abroad, then it becomes an import. Despite being denatured here, it becomes an imported denatured alcohol. Ganun ba ang interpretation?
Mr. Chair, when we say domestically denatured, the denaturation process occurred domestically. So regardless of the source of the ethanol, whether international or domestic.
Kaya, Your Honor, what is being requested by the industry is to allow already the importation of already denatured. Kasi right now, to be tax exempt, it has to be denatured locally. So if we import alcohol, we have to denature locally for it to be tax exempt. So
Let me again just clarify. So no matter where the ethyl ba ang tawag doon, yung pumapasok sa distillery, no matter where the ethyl alcohol is coming from, if you denature it domestically, it's now exempt from excise taxes. Okay. Right now, let's go to the imported denatured. The imported, when they come here, they're subjected to excise tax. Denatured, imported denatured.
no po, kasi in the process naman of taxation, the tax attaches when the product comes into existence. So when we import the ethyl alcohol, it's not subject to tax yet. But once we produce it to become a product, say a gin, a vodka, a rum, a whiskey, then the tax will attach to this product. So it has to be produced first for
What I mean is imported denatured. What is the
wala
tax?
po,
What is the tax regime for imported denatured?
actually, there is only this, this ruling, this BIR ruling. Maybe Yam can discuss the ruling.
Go ahead.
Mr. Chair, there was a ruling, BIR ruling last 2022 issued Splash Corporation, it actually allowed the importation of already denatured alcohol. Apparently, I think there was a recent DOF ruling which stated that imported denatured alcohol is no longer tax exempt. So
It's no longer tax exempt, then it's subjected to the excise taxes, which is ad valorem and specific,
yes,
correct?
yes.
Yan ba, is that, my question is that being experienced by your members, those who are importing denatured alcohol? If you have members like,
I, Your Honor, if there is that DOF ruling now, no one will import.
Hmm,
No one will import denatured alcohol because it doesn't make sense for you to import denatured alcohol to be taxed as a distilled spirit and to be used for for let's say sanitizer alcohol
Oo.
or cosmetics. So it will definitely, I believe there's none with this ruling of the DOF.
okay.
So for now, they will go back. Ganun naman ang business,
Yes,
di ba?
of
They will
course.
go back to the regime where you
Which is
import
the local, which
Yes
is
po.
buying denatured locally.
locally. So you will, but you can import alcohol, ethyl alcohol, and then denature it here for it to be tax exempt. So of course, businessmen will follow, will do it in accordance where they don't have to pay because there's no way for them to recover when they sell the denatured alcohol to the client.
Mm-mm.
The client will also not want to pay the syntaxes specific and ad valorem because they're not distilled spirits.
Correct, correct. Correct. I just want to make that clear now so that everyone will be on the same page. Now I want to ask BIR. So see Mr. Anyone from the BIR, no? So it's let me just again clarify. When you import ethyl alcohol, distill it here, and produce bad alcohol, and denature that bad alcohol will not be imposed excise taxes.
Imported, Your Honor.
Imported yung ethyl,
Tatax po namin, Your Honor.
So tatax nyo. That's why I want to clarify. So that's not
Kasi imported, sir.
imported in
Kung
ethyl.
domestic, and then distillery lang. Doon lang po kami nagfo-focus. Pinroduce ni distillery, kay distillery din i-denature. Yun yung exempted. Pero kung in-import mo na, yun ba yan, itatax na po namin yun.
Yung ethyl ang imported, yung ethyl.
Taxable pa rin po.
Taxable. So in denatured alcohol niya is taxable.
Opo.
So yung kaninang statement ng nila Miss Limpes not in line with your ruling.
Opo.
I think yung nangyari kasi yata during the pandemic it was allowed, correct?
Yes, sir.
I think that's why I
Yes, sir.
think probably Miss Olivia
Tax free lang. Pandemic.
had this notion that before it was allowed, no? But it was reversed, I understand.
Yes, sir.
Correct? So ngayon, pag nag-import ka ng ethyl, you distill it, and then you have bad alcohol, you denature it, that denatured alcohol will be imposed excise taxes.
Yes, sir.
Tama? All right. So,
Mr.
yeah,
Chair,
yeah.
the BIR actually issued a ruling to Emperador distillers stating that imported ethanol, when denatured, is exempt from excise. So they had the ruling which exempts from excise tax the denaturation of imported ethanol.
Parang naguguluhan ako. Iba yung sinasabi ni Mr. Villardo and Mr. Attorney Manuel. So let's clarify this. That's also one of the reasons why we have this bill, is to make it clear, diba? That's the reason, to avoid this confusion among our tax authorities and also our stakeholders, our companies, no? But just for the purpose of this hearing, let me just let me just be clear. Yung imported ethyl, locally denatured, si denatured ba merong excise o wala? Imported ethyl.
Tapos i-denature dito.
Tama, dito i-denature.
Hindi po pwede, Your Honor, kasi distillery lang yung pwedeng mag-denature.
Yeah, distillery ang
Hindi
nag-denature.
po sila pwedeng mag-import as I
Yeah, but the
Siyempre,
ethyl is imported. The ethyl-
imported. Pero kung in-import niya or Your Honor yon, distillery siya at compounder siya,
and compounder siya.
under ban.
Oo.
Under ban po yon, under our RMC. Pero kung si distillery mismo mag-i-import at hindi naman niya i-compound, taxable po yon. At i-denature niya po, dapat po yung sarili niyang produkto, domestic.
The distillery and compounders are same company? Can be the same company, di ba? The distillers and compounders.
Yes po. Kasi we have we can have distillers permit and compounding permit. Oh.
Mm-mm.
So kasi the process of denaturing is a compounding process eh. So that's where we blend in the
Yeah.
denaturant. So I'm asking my colleague eh, kasi we were saying na domestically denatured. So it doesn't matter whether it is imported or domestic ethyl alcohol that we are denaturing, no? Kasi it says domestically denatured. Oo.
Mm-mm.
Right now, what lang is not allowed is the importation of imported denatured.
Yeah. Well, right now, as I understand it, I also understand that BIR imposes excise tax on imported ethyl denatured here. Yun ang understanding ko rin. That's what I understand. No?
No.
So,
Accessible.
yes, Attorney Meneses, go ahead.
Hindi po siya denature sa
Sir, I think, and in due deference to the industry, because they are definitely more familiar about it. But if you look at the tax code, what's being subject to excise tax is the distilled spirit. It's not really the raw material which is subject to excise tax. So, syempre, I think the confusion here is that the presumption when you're importing the ethyl alcohol, the intended purpose of that ethyl alcohol is to be manufactured as a distilled spirit. Therefore, the premise is that it will be subject eventually to excise tax as a distilled spirit. But if you look at section 134, if that ethyl alcohol is denatured, because there's no distinction made in section 134 as to the source of the alcohol. So the only requirement is that it has to be denatured by a domestic it has to be denatured domestically. So that's the reason why I think the industry is saying that since there is no distinction made in section 134, and I think it's based also on the basis of the ruling issued to one of the distilled manufacturers, then it should be exempt because there's no distinction under section 134.
We're not going to adjudicate today what is the interpretation of the law. Just to move forward with the hearing, the current regime right now that BIR is imposing is if the ethyl alcohol comes from an imported source and it's denatured here, whether it's the distiller who denatured it or compounder denatured it, the denatured alcohol, when you bring it out, will be imposed excise tax. Tama?
Yes, sir.
So that's the current regime right now. No? But that's the
Wala po.
interpretation of the BIR. In the past kasi nagpalit-palit yan eh. No, I think during the pandemic they didn't impose excise tax. It was reversed and then upheld by the DOF, I understand, no? So the current regime right now is they will impose excise tax on imported ethyl, no?
Ah.
That's
Your Honor, maybe we will ask our members because I don't sell denatured alcohol, so I don't know.
Yeah.
But we will ask our members in the Distilled Spirits Association. But I do agree with Attorney
Meneses.
Meneses that if there is no distinction, like for distilled spirits, there is no distinction as to whether the distilled spirit or ethyl alcohol you use is local or domestic. In the same manner, it wasn't specified in the law.
Mm-mm.
Same goes for the denatured spirit. There's no distinction on whether imported ethyl alcohol shall be subject to excise tax and not be allowed to be denatured. Then I agree with his statement that diba, unless it's specified in the law, there's
Yeah,
really
yeah. That's why we're
yeah.
here to clarify it in the
Yes,
law,
yes, but-
because the request of some of the distillers and compounders is to make it clear in the law, so that the BIR will also come up with revenue regulations that is clear to the members. And right now, when you because of when we were reviewing the documents, there were reversals in the ruling, and that created confusion as well. No, I'm sure you're aware of that.
Sige
So we
po.
want to make it very clear in the law, and we want to ask the opinion and your suggestions from the industry on how to make it clear, no, in the law.
Sige
Yeah.
po. So we will ask our members na lang how it's actually taxed, no? So
Right,
baka that's
right.
better.
But for now,
Oo.
so that we can move forward with the hearing, we'll take the position of the BIR. So that it's the, of course, at the end of the day, they'll be the one collecting. So they'll
Yes.
be imposing what they think is in line with the law. No? So with
Your-
that, well, Attorney Manalo will call Attorney Reyes first. No? Kasi he was raising his hands. Si Asek Carlo, and then Attorney Manalo.
Mr. Chair, just one clarification kasi we have not talked about section 141. And in section 141, there is this paragraph here that says spirits or distilled spirits is the substance known as ethyl alcohol, ethanol or spirits of wine, including all dilution, purification, and mixture thereof from whatever source by whatever process produced and shall include whiskey, etc., etc. So I believe ito yung basis why even imported ethanol to be denatured will be subject to section 141, which is the excise tax on distilled spirits.
Pero I think, Your Honor, that refers to as distilled spirits eh. It's not denatured alcohol. Oo. So, yes, kasi Section 141 is specifically on distilled spirits. And really, for distilled spirits, whatever it is, wherever it comes from, whatever source it is, for as long as it becomes a spirit that is for consumption, it is excisable. Yes, we agree. But for denatured is a different story altogether.
Go ahead, Attorney Edgar.
Mr. Chair, just to clarify things, sir. Sir, yung sa kanila, kaya po sila exempt as of now kasi yung waste nila is from their own product. Hence, hindi siya exempt. Ibang kaso naman po kapag in-import mo yung ethyl alcohol, tapos dito mo siya i-denature. Kasi papasok po siya sa definition under section 141 as amended by RA 11467, if I'm not mistaken. Yung the most recent law on the excise tax on alcohol.
Yeah, go ahead, Miss.
May I say something? If that is how we want to go, I'm afraid that actually, we have gone through that before. The reason why our tax regime on excise on distilled spirits was changed was because the EU and the US filed cases against us in the World Trade Organization because of the discriminatory nature of our taxation on distilled spirits. So at that time, we had a preferential rate for sugar-based molasses and sugar-based alcohol versus other ethyl alcohol produced from other substrate. Now, if we will go into this reasoning that if we have domestic and imported, diba, the imported must be subject to excise tax on spirits or not allowed to be tax exempt as denatured alcohol, then we will be subjecting ourselves to another round of cases in the WTO. So because babalik tayo doon because we cannot discriminate in accordance, di ba, with the World Trade Organization. But I think the law did not really say that. So we leave it to the legislature to determine that. Thank
I
you.
talked to some of the members of TSAP, and apparently some of the members, because of that BIR ruling, is now disincentivized to sell their denatured alcohol, because if they import ethyl, they denature it here, and they sell it out. They sell it to, let's say, a cosmetic company. BIR will now impose excise taxes because it's considered imported denatured alcohol by virtue of the imported ethyl. No? So some of them are not inclined to sell it. It's disincentive for them because obviously when you impose excise tax like ad valorem and specific on denatured, it will increase the cost of that denatured. Like what you said, no? If you impose excise tax on imported, yung diretsong ini-import, then no one will sell it because it will increase the cost, no? Let me just clarify with BIR. Yung mga imported denatured, yung diretsong imported, what taxation are you imposing?
141 po rin.
141. So you will impose ad valorem and specific, and I'll go into that later on. No, but that's the answer, no, Miss Olivia. Then the result of that is wala mag-import nga kasi tataas yung cost, no? Tataas yung cost nila. So I just want to make that clear, no? So that again, the objective of this hearing is to clarify that in the law, and we would request from DSAP, from Ginebra San Miguel, a position paper, and also the other stakeholders on how to clarify it in this bill. So I'll call Attorney Manalo and then si Attorney Meneses.
Thank you, Your Honors. So, Your Honors, just to clarify, actually, there's a provision in the tax code which supports the non-imposition of excise taxes on imported denatured alcohol. If you're going to look at section 131, I believe letter B, it says there that for excisable articles, the way you tax domestic excisable articles should also be the same way you tax imported excisable articles. So here, you're going to look to see under section 134 that domestic denatured alcohol is exempt from tax, specifically because it is not fit for consumption. So the imported denatured alcohol, considering that domestic is not taxed, it is exempt from tax. Following section 131, imported denatured alcohol should likewise be not subject to excise tax because it is also unfit for human consumption. So actually, that is where the splash ruling mentioned by the distillers, as well as to a certain degree the Emperador distiller BIR ruling comes from. The denatured alcohol being imported is unfit for consumption. That is why it is not being imposed with excise taxes.
Thank you for that. Attorney Meneses, you want to?
Sir, ano lang, just a clarification, because the BR said the basis for imposing excise tax on denatured alcohol is section 141. Section 141 is distilled spirit. Are we saying the same yung tax ng denatured and distilled spirit?
Can you clarify that? BIR or DOF? Ako,
Yes, sir.
what I understand also,
Yeah.
141 is for distilled spirits, the
Distilled
end product yung iniinom natin, di ba? That's
Distilled
my.
spirits pa rin.
So why are we imposing 141 on denatured alcohol?
Because the base product is ethyl alcohol, which is distilled spirit as per 141, Your Honor.
How come 134 cannot be applied? Because 134 deals with denatured alcohol.
Domestic po kasi yung 134. For domestic, owned produced by the distiller, and denatured siya, exempt.
And how do you define domestic denatured alcohol?
Na-denature po siya sa distillery na nag-produce nung alcohol. That is domestic
Regardless
distillery.
kung saan nanggaling yung ethyl alcohol niya?
No, own produced. Production po ni distillery.
Production ni distillery. So yung yung raw material ni distillery doesn't have anything to do with it, or
No, wala na pong kwan. Kasi molasses lang po yung raw materials niya.
so kahit na imported din molasses,
Opo.
okay lang?
Okay lang po.
Oo. So si distillery pag nag-produce ng tama ba? Si distillery pag nag-produce ng denatured alcohol, dinature niya, considered domestic na 'yon.
Opo.
Okay. But the difference there is when the compounder imports,
Yes.
yun ang difference.
Yung difference po ng compounder, nag-import po o domestic ang purchase niya, under ban po siya.
Under ban rin siya.
Under ban.
Okay. Pero when do you apply? So si distillery, ulitin ko para clear lahat si distillery lang pag nag-produce ng denatured alcohol, exempted na siya.
Opo.
Exempted na siya. Regardless saan nanggaling yung kanyang raw material.
Opo.
Okay. Hindi ganyan kay compounder.
Yung compounder po, yun nga po, under ban.
Oh.
Yung alcohol na purchase niya. Whether imported o domestic, under ban po.
Pero
ang
hindi nature ni compounder.
taxable.
Taxable hindi nature ni compounder. Pero kung kanyang source is domestic, binili niya kay domestic distiller, exempted siya.
Taxable pa rin po.
Taxable pa rin siya. Bakit siya taxable?
Mr. Chair, if I may clarify. So meron kang distillery, and then meron kang compounder.
Correct. Oo.
So si distillery, as far as I know, the raw input, the input is basically the molasses coming from sugar, etc., agriculture sector. Now, ang quote-unquote finished good ni distillery is the alcohol, which can be the ethyl alcohol, ito na yung hearts or the good alcohol, and the heads and tails. So yun yung finished product niya. Now, the hearts, yun yung binibenta nila to the compounder, yung gagawa ng distilled spirits. And kapag binenta nila yun, domestic to domestic, under a band na yun. So yun taxable na kasi it will be produced, assumption is it will be used for the production of distilled spirits. Yun po yung sinasabi niya. So basically, yung input ni compounder, which is basically ethyl alcohol, ethanol, whether coming from imported or domestically sourced, it will be under a bond kasi the assumption that it will be used for the production of distilled spirits. Now, I think the question here is if the distillery actually import ethyl alcohol for denaturing. Ang problem po yata, based on the tax code, from what I can decipher, I'm not a lawyer, is that finished good na po kasi considered ng distilled spirit ang alcohol. No, not yet.
No, not yet. No, the alcohol is a raw material.
Ethyl alcohol.
Ethyl alcohol is a raw material, not the finished product. So even in denaturing, your ethyl alcohol is your raw material. When you add the denaturant, is when it becomes the finished product, denatured alcohol. So if I may add lang to the bill being proposed, it says the original law says domestic denatured alcohol. Alcohol of not less than 180 degrees from any source intended as ingredient in the manufacture of distilled spirits shall, when suitably denatured locally. So it is from any source. The existing law is from any source. And what the Congress is trying to do is just to clarify it, to remove domestic para hindi na maguluhan.
We'll flash the correct 141, the existing 141 kasi mali yung na-transmit sa amin ng House, Miss Olivia. We'll flash it just to be accurate. Kasi may word doon domestic alcohol of not less than 180 degrees.
Sorry, is this the The proposed one.
That is from the
Yeah,
House of
okay, sorry,
Representatives.
sorry.
Yeah,
Okay.
it's not your fault. It's the one transmitted to us, but it's not accurate.
Ah,
We'll
so
flash it on the screen.
ano lang, if I may say, if I may again repeat lang, usually, di ba, I mean, in 141, in section 141 for distilled spirits, it's from any source. So I would say that we cannot be discriminatory and also, di ba, if that goes for distilled spirits, the same should go for the natured alcohol. The same. Kasi dapat fair yan eh, di ba? Fair application of the law.
Actually, in my common sense is saying, denatured to, hindi mo maiinom to eh. No? Why are we
Oo.
taxing something that we cannot consume?
Yes.
It's actually waste. No, it's actually waste that is being put into productive use. No, so in other words, we should not tax it because from waste you're putting it into productive use. Those who are producing denatured alcohol can actually earn from it, pay taxes, pay VAT. No?
Yes, we
So
totally agree with you, Your Honor.
So that's why we're clarifying all this. This is the original Miss Olivia, no? Yan, domestic alcohol of not less than, may word domestic siya. Oo.
Sir, and
Go ahead, Attorney Meneses.
sir, and we have to go back to the premise and objective of the sin taxes. In sin taxes nga is supposed to the reason for that is supposed to affect the consumption habits of those who use these products, whether it is alcohol or whether it's tobacco. But the premise is that this is sin tax because it is in respect of the consumption of these products. So when we talk about ethyl alcohol in relation to section 141, it is really in the nature of a distilled spirit to be consumed and nothing more. Kasi the industry is correct in saying that the ethyl alcohol is just a raw material. The thing that is being subject to excise tax is not really the raw material, but the finished product, which is really the distilled spirit that is going to be consumed. But I can understand rin yung sabi ng because the BR is correct as well, because the use of the term in respect of section 168 is distillery. So tama yung nila because when you say restrictively, the alcohol should come from a distillery. So that's the reason why the BR is saying that if it's sourced by a compounder and not a distillery, then it will be subject to excise tax. Kasi distillery lang sir yung sinasabi rito under section 168.
But in the process, and correct me if I'm wrong, Miss Olivia and Miss Lasin, the production of the alcohol also undergoes another process, which is the compounding process, diba? So the distillery only produces the ethyl alcohol, and then it goes to the compounding process, no? And the compounding process also produces bad alcohol, if I'm not mistaken. It also produces waste alcohol.
No, sir. In the distillery, we produce the bad alcohol.
Okay.
Not
Okay.
in the compounding.
Not in the compounding.
Yes.
Okay.
Only in the distillery.
Okay. Okay. So I talked to some members and they told me, well, the way I understand it, the compounding process also produces some bad alcohol. No.
No, that is not the case, sir.
Okay. Okay.
Yes, sir.
So babalik ako sa, so kung ganun, so yung mga dininature nila, Mr. Biardo, in the distillery, sila yung mga distillery to, when they denature it in their premises and sell the denatured alcohol, walang excise tax. Sila.
Meron po. Dininature sa premises ni compounder?
Hindi, ng distillery.
Wala po.
Wala sila. Wala sila. Only sa compounder.
Opo.
Okay, I think that's also another That's why in the proposal will allow the compounders to
Okay, po.
distill. But sila wala, yung mga distillery.
Wala po.
Wala rin sila. And sila yung mga bad alcohol nila when they denature it, when they sell it to another entity, will they be imposed
No,
excise tax? Wala rin. So sila wala, no? It's only the compounder that will be affected. Okay.
compound.
All right. Okay, maybe we can can we ask DSAP also to ask your members about the compounding process? Because here, in the proposal, we're also allowing denaturing in the compounder facilities, no? In compound, because the way I understand it, the distillery compound, in some cases, the compounding facilities and the distillery facilities are different, no? Iba sila. Iba
Kasi
sila.
Your Honor, ako naman kasi I don't denature, but from what I understand is that the distillery produces the ethyl alcohol, but they don't compound in the distillery. I mean, they don't, do you denature in the distillery?
Yes, we denature in our distillery.
In your distillery?
Yes.
But when we apply for denaturing permit, it can also be in the compounding facility,
Which is not allowed.
diba?
Which is not allowed right
Is it
now.
not allowed ba?
It's not allowed po.
It's not allowed.
Under section 168. Can you flash yung 168? Yeah.
Oo, kaya po binabago.
Yes, kaya binabago.
Yes, actually
Oo.
kami, we are for this.
Okay, okay.
We support your
Okay,
bill.
I think
Your
the
Honor.
bottom line here, iba-iba rin yung companies eh. Mayroong mga distilleries na may compounder, may mga distilleries na iba ang compounder, may mga compounder na bumibili sa abroad. So there
Yes
are
po eh,
different
parang
variations eh.
to make us more competitive
Hmm.
and more efficient. Kasi parang like there's so many producers now of cosmetic products, so many producers of sanitizer alcohol and all these other things requiring denatured alcohol. So if we really want to grow our economy and the business sector, I think making it easier for companies to procure their raw material would be beneficial because there's also taxes to be made from all these other downstream industries. So if we make it too hard for the upstream, the downstream will also suffer. And actually what we want is the multiplier effect, diba? Which is really good for our economy. So we really totally support your bill because it is pro-business, it is pro-growth for our economy. Your Honor, thank you.
Thank you for that. Let me call on DOF for their comments on the measure, DOF. Si Carlo, aside from what you expressed earlier, do you have any comments on the
Mr.
proposal?
Chair, we do not have an official position yet. We're still studying the fiscal plus economic impacts of the proposed measure. We're working closely with BIR to thresh out the details. But yes, sir, we still don't have an official position paper yet.
I think the basic here is when we allow this law, when we pass this law, denatured alcohol, regardless where it comes from, will not be subjected to excise tax, diba? So in other words, are there collections from imported denatured alcohol right now? Meron ba tayong collection? Or what we considered imported denatured alcohol? Meron ba tayong nakokolekta from the present setup right now?
Ano po? Konti lang, Your Honor.
Mga magkano? More or less.
Wala pa akong data, Your Honor.
Yeah, but how much
Pero-
more or less lang?
Yun, kuhan mo. Yung may ruling lang. Wala akong
What we want to determine is
volume.
will there be a revenue loss for government? Magkano ang ano natin? DOF BIR.
Your Honor, while they are discussing, I was asked if I can explain what is rectification versus compounding.
Yes, you can.
Okay. So the distiller produces the ethyl alcohol. before it goes to the final compounding process where it's blended into the final product, there can be a rectification process in the middle. So what is rectification? It can be, if you, I'm sure, Your Honor, you know this, like there are some vodkas that they claim to be triple distilled, diba? Or there's an aging process. These are all rectification processes to further improve the raw material before it is finally sent to the compounder for blending and bottling. So these are the steps that we take to further improve and give this that competitive advantage over other competitive products, no, that will distinguish one brand from another. So there are many proprietary processes, procedures, techniques, diba, that raw material can undergo to further improve and make it different from the others before it is finally bottled in the compounding premises. So that's the simple description of what is rectification. Aging,
And that
multiple
is happening
distillation.
here in our country. There are what do you call that? Rectifiers. There-
Rectifiers, yeah. So it depends also on the product you're producing. So if we're producing a lower price product, usually it's just a simple compounding, blending in the plant. But if we produce higher end products, we will undergo other rectification processes.
And we have
Usually-
rectifiers here in the
Yes po.
Philippines.
Yes
Okay.
po, we have.
So in other words, the distillers, compounders, rectifiers, they can be one and the same. They can be different companies.
Usually they're one and the same. Usually. Oo, kasi we're very few naman in this industry. But the tax will attach when it goes to the compounder kasi that's where it becomes the final
alcohol.
Yes,
It
the
become-
final product.
Okay.
Oo, ready
alright.
for consumption.
Okay. Okay.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yun po.
okay.
Thank you.
Thank you. So do you have any numbers?
Sir, actually, the data or information requested by the committee was